Good luck tonight, and remember, have fun with it.
No, I was just gonna say that you've been working out, and I ate half of a cheese stuffed crust pizza.
Yeah, so yesterday when I saw you order 2 large pizzas, I was like, oh no, is something wrong?
No, the worst part was the delivery woman. She handed me the 2 Papa John's stuffed crust pizzas and said, "You guys have a great time."
It's like that Key and Peele sketch, and the guy's like, yeah, everyone want pepperoni? And it's like, who are you talking to? It's like, oh, the girl. What she look like? And
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
he's just
But no,
for himself.
I definitely was a moment of self-realization where I for sure was like, no, you can eat. I'm not gonna eat it all at once. Just remember that. I'm like, I'm meal planning. This is my current attempt at meal planning.
It's like classic college meal planning. Where like college meal planning is, I'll buy 2 days worth of Chinese food and get 2 meals out of it.
I have to get out of that habit because I've been eating terribly lately. And I bought fruits and vegetables. You watched me order groceries and get avocados and strawberries. And I've been trying to eat more avocado. And for the life of me, I still have days where I don't have the energy to cook or the desire to cook. And so I'll just get Chinese food or 2 pizzas.
It's almost like if one day you're off, prep everything. So when you get home, you can treat it like a frozen meal. Just like take it out, throw it in, and be done.
With like actual meals or with the pizzas? Because that's what I do with the pizzas.
No, I mean like the food you buy, the fresh food.
Yeah.
A day you're off, you should just put on a podcast, take an hour, and prep like 4 meals. Yeah. And then just have them set like in Tupperware or something ready to go, or Ziploc bags, and you just pull them out and throw them in when you get home.
Yeah, no, I need to do that because my body, I'm gonna be 25 in March, and my body, I can already feel that I can't be living this lifestyle anymore.
No joke. I turned 27, but when I turned 25 that March, I was like, oh God. And like, I'm like, I don't drink. And you were still on college body, so like, we drank and we hung out and like ate bad, and then the next day it'd be like, so this is the next 70 years of my life.
I was like, I can still do alcohol pretty well, but for a while I was doing alcohol pretty hard, like college days hard, because I was working at a bar. And now like in the quarantine, luckily I never picked up that like heavy drinking in the quarantine.
Yeah, I definitely knew I could do it, so I paced myself. Which is why I try not to have more than one type of alcohol in the house.
Yes.
Or, ironically, it's why I haven't eaten so many tacos. Because when I eat Mexican food, I want a margarita. Yep. I'm like, oh, that's going to be like $30 to go buy a margarita.
And also, anytime you drink heavily, you immediately go into, I need late night greasy food.
Oh, yeah. Fat Brendan from age 10 appears, and he's like, we need to sober you up, and your body and mind is ready for it. And I can down like a whole bag of pretzels, and then let's order Chinese food, and I'm drinking beer.
And I'm the exact opposite, where it's like, if I've gotten to that point, I will get food, but every time we drink together, you're like, do you want to get food? And I'm like, no, I ate before the drinking.
Yeah, that's why I try not to have any snacks in the house.
Oh, I'm terrible with snacks. I buy so many different chips. Welcome to S'mores, everybody.
Hey, welcome to S'mores.
I have one thing I wanted to talk to you about today that's been grinding my gears.
So before we get into that, I have a quick anecdote.
Yes.
That happened this morning.
Yes.
So I bought coffee yesterday while I was grabbing a couple things from the grocery store to try and get out of there because how packed it was on a Saturday. And I checked this morning and it's whole bean. So I Googled.
I love you to death, but I was so pissed when you brought home whole bean, and it's just like because that's the thing that happens with coffee is that sometimes it's whole bean, sometimes it's pre-ground.
Yeah, but that store should have asked if I wanted. Never mind. What I'm getting at is
they profiled you.
They totally profiled me.
He must have a home grinder. I need to buy a home grinder.
But so what I did was I saw online that I could use my Ninja if I do like a cup and a half at a time and just pulse it.
Yeah, you can do some blending.
So I pulsed it and I got it pretty fine. I only did half the bag, so I have half a bag of whole coffee beans, and I have a small like Tupperware in the freezer of ground coffee, and it tasted good.
Oh yeah.
So I'm so happy that you and our other roommate wasn't
awake
or here because I was.
No, I'm sorry you had to deal with that, but I'm glad you. No, grinding coffee in a blender is a great way to, if you just want to like quickly have some.
Well, yeah, and it said like to watch out for the oil. So after I did one cup at a time, I actually did see the oil on the blade.
Yeah.
So I had to clean it off and everything.
That's the one thing about having like an actual coffee grinder, besides that side way of doing it. And I need to get a home coffee grinder, but some of them are really expensive. I could get like a hand crank.
I mean, I've seen ones at Kohl's for like $25.
Yeah, but I really want. If I'm gonna get something like that, I'd like to get something that I'm gonna like use for a while. Like you don't buy a cheap blender, you get a nice.
No,
blender.
True, but if you're gonna pay a lot of money for the only thing it does is grind coffee, that thing better be silent. If you're paying over $35 to grind beans... It's
not about noise. It's about quality of grind.
Exactly. But it does... My idea is it does one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the oven is expensive, but it does multiple things, and you can do a lot of things with it. Mm-hmm. With a coffee grinder, I can't toss my salad in there.
No, but it's a specialty item, so it's very much like, because you have all the different settings you can do for different kinds of coffee. And
the roasting makes them either darker brown or lighter brown with oxidation.
Yeah, it brings out the it makes them able to be ground and to be made into coffee, because otherwise it's a very plant. It's just like it's very much like a seed at that point. It's a bean. Yeah, it's very much like
you can eat them.
Yeah, you can technically eat coffee beans. Chocolate covered coffee beans are very good.
Yeah, I like caramel covered espresso beans.
Yeah,
those are really good.
Those are really good.
So what's been bugging you?
We talked about this a while ago, but I'm a little peeved that I'm both excited and peeved that sea shanties are now in the mainstream more. I was just listening to them at work because I got to choose the playlist, so I put sea shanties on at work, and I've been obsessed with them since a young lad, and for the life of me, they suddenly just became popular in 2021. You like showed me the news stories, and then like another coworker was like, "Did you hear about this?" And it was the moment that I got angry hipster for a moment, and I was like, "Well, I've liked this longer than anyone, I guess," but that's not true. But I was like, I'm happy that more people are taking in 1700 sea shanties.
Yeah, I get the malice of it, because you're not mad that people are liking it. You're mad that people are acting like they found it.
Yes.
And honestly, yeah, it keeps saying it's mainstream. Like there's hashtag sea shanty on TikTok, but I haven't seen one sea shanty thing on social media.
It's just like people just talking about it but not actually watching it.
And this is the weird part, because there's been a lot of pirate games and movies and shows before now. So why did it come up now?
Why did 2020 become the year that sea shanty? 2021. We're in our year of the Lord, 2021.
Yeah.
We're almost done with January. I can't believe we're almost done with January.
Yeah.
You had a good January?
I guess so.
Yeah. I think it's been more productive for myself personally.
Yeah, I mean, I always treat January as like a buffer period.
However you feel.
Well, like, because everything that has happened at the end of the previous year is going to overlap and spill over anyways.
It's gonna be like rollover miles. It's like still
rollover, or like it stains the next month.
Ooh.
So
powerful imagery.
Thank you. So good or bad, it stains it. So I just let it roll through, and then it's a long month, 31 days.
Yeah.
And then we hit February. So like this month, yeah, a lot of good things happen. Got one of my cartoons published. We got a new president. We did some filming.
Greener pastures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go check out Brennan's work on greenerpastures.com.
But yes, please, on Medium. They're very awesome. But then at the same time, it's like, there's still bad stuff going on. Can't leave the house.
No, yeah. Once again, like you said, the stain of 2020 was such a huge stain that it's still bleeding over a bit into 2021. Mm-hmm. And Yeah, that's never going to pass up, but I don't know if it's the institution of the idea of a new year that's like put me in like a reset mindset, but I feel more positive about what 2021 will hopefully be after such a year as 2020.
Yeah, I used to be hard restart January 1st. And then in college, when we had all of January off, I started feeling like, oh, we're just gonna, it's just going over. It's almost like January, I take the whole month to, I don't have New Year's resolutions, but January I take the whole month to like get my house in order, take inventory of what I have, and see where I want to go.
Exactly.
So like this time last year, I was in rehearsal for a show. I was like seeing people every other day and working with people and rehearsing and writing every day and going to coffee shops, and that was a major focus. And by the end of last year, everything I was making was humor pieces, satire, and cartoons that were all by myself.
Yeah, so would you say you miss that collaborative?
Incredibly. I do my best in a writer's room.
Yeah.
Which is why I have my whiteboard. But I don't know why I said it that way. Whiteboard?
Whiteboard?
Whiteboard.
Walk the whiteboard.
HMS whiteboard. Why do you call it that?
Because all the Caucasians.
What does that word mean? You'll learn. But yeah, so like this month I was looking at what I wanted to accomplish and taking this month to figure it out, and thankfully there are aspects in the news that are no longer in the news anymore, a said person. So I feel more open going back to late night writing. I did monologue writings because
you're really good at that. So
thank you.
I'm happy to hear that you feel, well, once again, it's not this one track mindset. Hopefully now there might be a chance for that style of humor to be less focused on a certain individual.
I pulled back from daily monologue writing because everything in the news was either President Trump or COVID. And I wouldn't touch either of those.
Yeah.
Because it's just, to me, they were highly depressing. And then over time, that just became the two things in the news every day.
Yeah, it was the lowest hanging fruit.
It was the only fruit.
It was the only fruit. That's true.
So that's why I pulled back and hit bigger topics with my satirical pieces. So I want to go back to that. Let's see what happens. You said you were getting more positive. What is something you feel like you can accomplish in the next 30 days?
I mean, the biggest thing is the fact that we've been doing this more regularly. And I think also personally, it's been a personal thing, because when we did Back on Topic, our first attempt at a podcast, you were handling all of the editing and YouTube stuff, and I took over all that for S'mores, and it's been very empowering and amazing to feel like, oh, I can do this as well, do all the audio editing, do all the YouTube work, do all the video editing, and then get it up there and post it and promote it and talk about it. And that's been a really powerful thing, because I'm also doing that with Taco Classic Movies. And so having both of those projects to work on every single week has been a very great, like, almost like a work foundation. So it's like, I have other stuff that I want to be doing, but at the end of the day, I always know that I'll be working on this and I'll be working on Taco Classic Movies every week. So
you're working.
I'm working.
It's like, before everything went on, I would be at my job during the day, and then at night I'd be writing for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's still work.
But it's enjoyable work instead of just income work.
It can be enjoyable, and you want to transition it into income work, but
that's true. Right now it's a passion project and a mind fix, and it's something to like keep the motivation going.
Exactly, because that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Like, there's no off day for us. You can't have an off day. Yesterday, I pulled back a little bit because I worked 6 hours on one piece and got it out in submission. So that was like, I took that day to kind of figure out what I want to do, revise some of my friends' works, look at new things. But like, today, after we do this, I'm going in for 2 straight hours and brainstorm my next piece. It's very odd when I had friends at work who that's all they did.
It was just their job.
I mean, many of them were from here. So when I first moved to Chicago with you, I was in a weird place at work because I was the only person who ever moved to Chicago. Everyone was from there. And I assumed so many people moved to Chicago.
Yeah.
Because we were going into a field where you had to be in a hot spot for it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And how many people have not experienced live theater or comedy in Chicago when I would argue it is the bedrock of American comedy in the 20th century?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's been interesting, and it's funny how there's a lot of contractors out there who are understanding exactly what we're talking about, and they work a day job to live in a place and have electricity to do what they need to do.
Yeah, I for one am in the same mindset as you, but I also am a firm believer in, well, I very much have that sense of awareness where to take breaks and to take days off where I don't feel
well, yeah,
like,
you can take breaks, but the moment you give yourself too much time, you're not coming back to it. Like, writing, creativity is a muscle.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not inherited. You have the imagination, but to actually create something and put out in the practicum, you have to do every day. And like when I write for 30 minutes to an hour, I take a break. And when I was studying college, did a little bit, took a break, and moved on. I
just read about Sedona or something like that.
Plemento.
Yes, the Plemento.
Yeah, no, I told you about that a little bit ago.
Oh.
We did in class where you work for 20 to 30 minutes, you take 5 minutes off, you go back to it. I do a variation of that, where I work 45 minutes to an hour, and then I take a 20, 30 minute break. So instead of doing a lot of work with tiny work, I tend to hit more and then take a little more off to decompress. And I either will rotate to a new project and put it on the back burner, or go back into it depending on my schedule and where I'm at in my transition, if I'm in first drafting, brainstorming, or revising.
And everybody works at a different place. What's important?
Palomento? It's a tomato.
Yeah, it's like.
It's not Plemento.
It's Palomino. Placenta.
Sarah Palomino, I think that's her name, who created
It's
Gilmore Girls and Maisel.
It's the placenta method.
Placebo
method. We're not actually working. I'm just imagining that we're working, and just I feel it in my body, but there's no actual work happening. It's just the feeling of work happening. But no, I'm real happy that sea shanties are more popular now. I'm also real happy that anime and D&D is also becoming more popular.
What's some of your favorite sea shanties?
For me, you can't go wrong with an OG Drunken Sailor, but it's honestly one of the most overplayed shanties.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. That one's always overplayed.
It's overplayed. Johnny Lever, also a good one. I also enjoy, right now, people all over social media is Whaler Man right now. Is the biggest one. That's the one you'll see on TikToks and a lot of like people talking about sea shanties, and so that one's up there as like a very well played one. I just heard a really great one today called Red Roses that I really liked, and sometimes it can bleed into Irish drinking songs as well. Also, a lot of really great Irish drinking songs out there. But
Red Roses, as it goes, red is the rose where the younger garden grows.
No, it's a lot more just like a beat and like two phrases repeated.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, so that's how most shanties are. But now it takes me back to Morrison's. I really miss Morrison's Irish Pub. Another thing that's been on my mind lately was I just heard about the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, like the newest one that like just ended, like the newest iteration. And someone was like, "This is actually a very good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show."
Is it a TV show?
Okay. Yeah, it's a cartoon. And I saw it, and like the visuals were very jarring, and like, but then I watched.
So?
Is like the turtles are all different shapes. Like one's like much taller than the other three, and one's much more scrawny than the other three, and it mixes like almost superpowers as well as like very high tech weaponry into their typical arsenal.
Okay.
But
Donatello does machines.
Yeah, and Donatello does machines. But, like, example, like, Leonardo has teleporting now, and you can feel almost like a very anime influence to the action, though, because the action sequences were very good, this quick one I saw. But then I realized that, like sea shanties, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is one of those things that's been around for so long that I think many different generations or age groups have, like, their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at this point, because they keep remaking it, And I had all the DVDs of the original first ever animated series of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that one is wacky.
Yeah, 'cause that's the one from the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, it was from the 80s.
I thought the movies were the 80s.
No, the movies were the 90s.
Oh, okay. But
that was Jim Henson costumes, which I should have been more freaked out about as a kid, but like I guess it's because I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I mean everyone now has their own Power Rangers, their own like Pokemon, their own Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ride or die. This is the best generation for this story.
I mean, they've just been remaking them for 30 years. They own the IP to keep putting it out. Yeah. I was just listening to a podcast today just about their favorite animated themes growing up as kids.
Yes.
And how a lot of it was just placing one theme from a previous show and putting it in. Like, She-Ra is pretty much Thundercats and He-Man, but it was just a different character.
Although I will say I have not watched the new She-Ra myself, but I've seen a lot of stuff that the LGBTQ plus community really enjoys She-Ra. Like, it's apparently a very progressive show.
Oh.
So that's really cool to hear that media is out there. So maybe I will give that a watch sometime. Plenty of time to watch stuff.
It was on Netflix?
Yeah, I think it's a Netflix original show. So
gotcha. Yeah, it was because it was a little early for me, but I never got into He-Man. Well, He-Man was definitely early for me. I never got into Thundercats or She-Ra or He-Man.
I tried watching the new Thundercats, where it was like they did like a remake of Thundercats.
I heard the new Thundercats is good.
I did hear it was good, but it's also like when they remake a 80s IP like that, because the Thundercats were 80s if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
When they remake an 80s IP like that and they try to make it like modern day badass in a sense, or like try to give it a flair, because it was on Toonami also, so it like had almost like an anime-esque flair to it. You still are like, these are giant cat, these are like human-sized cat people, and it still has like a level of like, this is a little wacky, even for like to try to make it hardcore.
Well, you can only go up with Thundercats. The original show wasn't good. Like, it was just a good theme song. A lot of those shows had good theme songs, bad shows.
So you would just keep recycling the theme song?
Like, I know in the new one, Lion-O is trying to establish himself as the hero he will become in the original series.
What's something that from back in the day, or like an IP, like a childhood IP or back in the day, that you would like to see remade?
See or remake myself?
Well, let's say you had an executive producer credit on it, so you could provide feedback, but it wasn't exactly made by you.
I would like to see Inspector Gadget.
That's a good one.
But I would either want to double down on the comedy of it, and put it in the 90s, or put him as 90s tech in modern day.
Oh.
So trying to always creating those situations around, because he is analog still, or low digital.
Well, that'd be interesting, because I was about to say, would you do Inspector Gadget where it has a lot of modern tech, so it's like he has Bluetooth? Or
no, I
like
wouldn't.
It
would literally be Inspector Gadget with old tech. So it is Inspector Gadget, just in 2021. Or I would do a gritty reboot.
Ooh. Could Inspector Gadget do it? Is it gritty?
Perry Mason did it. Inspector Gadget could do it.
Interesting.
I mean, his body is blown up to smithereens because he was trying to be killed because he had information about Claw.
Yeah, the foot.
Yeah, so then, the foot from the original movie.
Yeah.
And
I love that film. The sequel I liked as a kid, but...
You haven't rewatched the original film.
I haven't, not within like the last few years, but...
Okay.
But like, I remember it fondly because it's wild.
Exactly. We remember it fondly.
Although, you know this story, right? That my folks took me to see Inspector Gadget when it came out in theaters?
Yeah.
Yeah, they took me to see it. I was 3 years old. And they said, this is a good idea. And I cried. It's through the movie, so they had to kick me. They had to take me out of the theater.
Your fault. I mean, the movie's PG, and they had toys at McDonald's.
That's what I told them. And I said it was one terrible marketing because it was marketed as a kids movie, and for the most part, it was like you could have had as a.
How's it not a kids movie? Because to me, it is a kids movie.
Well, you just said that they try to kill someone.
Okay.
If they have information.
A lot of movies where people try to get killed.
That's true, but they usually say that I'm going to destroy you as an excuse, because they use like the change of the vernacular so that kids.
But the movie doesn't open up with "I'm going to kill you, Gadget," and then he blows up.
No. Well, he's not Gadget yet. He's just a security guard. But there was also how about the scene with the evil Gadget where he has the tarantula that climbs out of his mouth. That's why they had to make me leave. I was terrified because he had a tarantula in his chest and it crawled out of his mouth. And I'm sorry, that's nightmare fuel for any age.
Which is why you could do the gritty reboot.
No, you could do a gritty reboot, but
He's rebuilt, and then another man with, and then of course you pull the.
Do you just redo the entire same plot, but it's grittier?
No. You take the show, but you.
So you're going off the animated Gadget, not the film Gadget.
No, because the movie's based off the animated show.
Yeah.
So if we're rebooting it, I would either do a live action grit, like an HBO 10 episodes about like a hardcore mystery noir, or I would do
one of those IPs where
I
just can't take it seriously.
Which is why I'd rather Naked Gun it, where it's supposed to be gritty and everything's taken seriously, but he is 90s tech in modern day. Like, why they haven't upgraded him? Because he's been the best. He's the best inspector, so why would we upgrade him?
So you wouldn't just go the easy route of have him with modern day tech. So there's a lot of modern day tech jokes. Like I said, he has like a blue tooth, but it's one of his actual.
But see,
teeth.
that's exactly. It's like that's the thing. It's fun. I think it's funnier if you go into 90s tech where his ear can be pulled off to listen to things while he left, or his hat like claws come out. It wouldn't just be drones.
Yeah.
Now,
I was about to say, you can easily do a story where he's outdated and now all this modern day.
Now he can't get hacked.
That's true. He can't get hacked.
He's mechanical. He's mechanical. He's not digital, electronical.
And I mean, there could be a digital, there could be a new model of him that's like a digital. Because, they did that in the sequel where it was the female Gadget. And she was like the new model.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one.
I liked it as a kid.
Because it's French Stewart, and I was old enough. This was post Spy Kids 3, so I knew a bad movie when I saw it.
Well, the thing was, I didn't know that yet. I knew Spy Kids 3 was a bad movie, but I didn't know that was a bad movie. And also, French Stewart, when I was a kid, looked close enough to Matthew Broderick, but I also was like, wait, that's not Matthew Broderick. But
Did he even come out in theaters? Or was it just...
It might have been on just,
Disney.
the Disney Channel.
Because I'm like, I don't even know if it came out.
It might have been direct to DVD, or... I'm sure you could easily find a trailer for that or something if you wanted to burn the time. I do Captain Planet. I think I'd like to see a gritty Captain Planet.
Well, gritty Captain Planet would just be Planet, but it's too late now.
Yeah, no,
the nihilism of it.
I think it would be like they did the supposedly grittier.
I mean, Funny or Die, yeah.
Well, no. I don't want to talk about the Funny or Die.
Sure.
I'm very serious about I think you could do a really cool modern day or even like a time jumped Captain Planet, because so instead of like kids, you could do like adults where it's like they become a little more jaded, and because the world still, after all the work they did, the world continues to get bad in the environment, and like maybe they can't use their powers as strongly because Gaia, the spirit that gave them their abilities, is weaker because of the Earth, and so they haven't summoned Captain Planet in years.
Maybe they're all eco-terrorists and they're trying to get together to summon Captain Planet, their god, and the antagonists or protagonists are trying to stop these 7 people to come together.
So you're saying that we follow someone outside of the original gang?
We follow someone who's like, I'm good for Captain Planet, but they've all became eco-terrorists because they couldn't save the world.
No, that's what I'm saying. We follow a protagonist that's trying to stop the original Planeteers because they're trying to summon Captain Planet to finally just put a stop to the world, because no matter what everything they did didn't amount for anything, because the world's still getting to a point.
Not all of them are there, though. It's everyone...
Mati is not there because he had heart.
No, exactly. He's the one who's not there. He was the first to die, which makes him extremist.
He's the one that the main characters seek out. Like, you need to go find
and
the heart.
He's given the reign.
And so he, along with the protagonist... Maybe it's like a new generation of Planeteers, where it's like...
I would say, if we stick on the original idea, you treat it as just a multi-narrative where you follow all 6 of them, the new and the original 5, and it's their own stories, all trying to find each other to do it. So you can have your favorite, and you can split the story. Mm-hmm. It's not just following one guy the entire time trying to find each one.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that the like an evil group are the Planeteers, the original ones. Yeah, and I'm saying that they're already together, except for Matee.
Oh, see, I think it's interesting that they're all trying to get together.
Oh no, I think
because that's the end game. Because once they're together, Captain Planet.
I'm saying Matee doesn't agree with them. I'm saying the original group, they can't form Captain Planet without Matee.
So Matee isn't dead.
No.
So why don't they just kill Matee and take his ring?
Because he has to be wearing it. They all have to agree to summon Captain Planet.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. If you just give it to someone else, so if Matee is dead, and then they take the ring and they try to find a different bearer, or the main protagonist is the one that finds Matee, he's given the ring, Matee dies, and now they can't do Captain Planet without getting this guy to join them.
That's a good plan. That's a good idea as well, but I don't think that's what you were originally saying, because what you were originally saying was all the different characters are trying to find each other.
Yeah, but I think both work together in tandem.
Yeah. So I'm saying that they're already formed, and they're trying to find the new Matee.
To me, that's a movie. We would do a series.
I'm not looking to do a series.
You just said bring back series.
No, I said what? What 80s IP would you bring back for a gritty reboot?
And we were only talking about TV shows. I just assumed we were talking about TV.
Well, I mean, they did that with Power Rangers just recently, where they did a gritty reboot, but it was just a film.
Well, I didn't know about it.
You didn't see the new? It had.
No, I only know about the new show, which is not gritty.
Elizabeth Banks is what she was in the movie.
Oh, that movie?
Yeah, that movie.
That came out 4 years ago?
Yeah, 2017.
Not new.
Well, it's new enough. It's modern day enough that it is a gritty take on a old TV show, but it was just a film.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of idea I would have, but done better than that Power Rangers
movie.
Okay. I liked that movie, but the blatant Krispy Kreme references throughout oh wait, you haven't seen it. They blatantly just talk about that the great power that is that villains trying to have is buried under a Krispy Kreme. So they just say Krispy Kreme a lot throughout the film.
So I want to go back to your pitch though. Protagonist.
Yeah.
Does he have the ring or not?
Not yet. No.
5 out of the 6 are a eco-terrorism crew.
Yes.
Who is known by the world and on FBI, CIA watch list, stuff like that.
Yes, because of their superpowers.
So what's the journey?
The journey is the protagonist trying to find Matee.
And then?
And then once they find the ring, it's also them trying to convince/stop the original crew and remember why they became Planeteers to begin with. Because at the end,
we just stop them if he just takes the ring and says no?
No, because they're going to kidnap his family. And so they're going to try and blackmail him to use his ring to summon Captain Planet. But when they do summon Captain Planet, at that moment, Captain Planet doesn't do what the Planeteers ask. He was his own entity. And he has this moment where he's like, this isn't the way that we can change the world. This isn't the way that the Earth's going to heal, is with wanton destruction. Captain Planet always used his abilities to better the Earth and be a hero of justice and good. So you have to. So in that moment, everyone thinks, oh, summoning Captain Planet is going to be the end game. It's going to be the thing where it's going to everyone's going to die or he's going to be furious. But no, he's just somber that they caused all of this destruction and death for what they got blinded by their original ideals.
I get that. I feel like it'd just be stronger as a show. Because I don't care about the original Planeteers. I only care about the protagonists. If we follow all of them, we can see what happened to them in their life. That's why I'm suggesting.
If we're thinking of a show, your idea is great.
Well,
I'm saying
even with your movie, I need to know their reasoning because that's why I'm suggesting if Matee is already dead, if the fire guy killed Matee from New York.
Yeah.
Well, then that's the reason why they go dark and go on this path in the first place. That they can't summon Now they can't summon Captain Planet. So you start off with they go extreme because Captain Planet can't be summoned because Matee is dead and the ring is hidden. The new protagonist finds the ring and they learn about it and try to track him down. You can still do the parents thing, but the whole idea is Captain Planet is a MacGuffin, it's a red herring, where what you're trying to do is stop the ego terrorists.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even need to even have Captain Planet in it. You treat it like the TV show, you come in the last 3 minutes.
I mean, really, what I've heard is just 2 really great pitches for Captain Planet. I don't think either of our ideas are bad at all. I think they're just different.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just asking to divulge more.
Yeah, no, and what I'm saying is the main character, sees these, has a set of skills themselves, but like they looked up to the Planeteers, and the Planeteers, like, in this moment, they're like, we want to summon, like, when they're younger, there's a moment where they're like, we want to summon Captain Planet, and like, he's going to help us, like, we are going to, like, put a stop to these eco issues, to, like, we're finally going to, like, sweep it. And Mattia is like, no, this wanted destruction is not, like, the original message that Gaia wanted us as the Planeteers to do. So he leaves. He goes into isolation.
Well, twist, Captain Planet makes him darker, which is why Mattia leaves. Because they always followed him. So if they've been doing things for 30 years and nothing's been working, then if Captain Planet becomes more extreme, they all follow him, but Mattia, he has heart. As Captain Planet loses heart and the team loses heart, he then leaves as well. And then they can no longer summon Captain Planet.
Another fair and good idea.
I'm just yes-anding you.
No. I see that. What I'm saying is I really like the idea that this sets up, like, a future generation Planeteers, in the sense that, like, the old Planeteers, like, not only does Mattia pass on his ring to the new, like, Keeper of the Heart ring, once Captain Planet confronts the old Planeteers that their ways are bad, they give up their rings, and then a new generation of Planeteers takes over to try and create and come up with new ideas to save the Earth.
Why do you choose Captain Planet? I
chose Captain Planet because, one, I think it's both outdated, and I think a fresh coat of paint. I think it's a very it's an idea that was ahead of its time, but really weirdly executed at its time. And this idea that, like, well, the fact is that, like, the Earth is still devolving and getting very worse with global warming and with a lot of the issues with the Earth, that I think it'd be a very poignant message. And I think that one is also a very diverse, cast of characters, because they had a character from every single country, like several countries. I don't know if that was...
It was every continent.
It was every... Yeah, that's what it was. It was every continent. And yet they all spoke English. I really enjoyed the idea, like, they had, like, that very classic, like, a bunch of elemental powers, but Mattia I stand by that Mattia is the most powerful Planeteer, and that's why he's also the one that doesn't fall into this state of mind, because a lot of people forget, but Mattia could, he had telepathy, he could speak and control animals, he could read emotions. Like, the Heart Ring was always the one on the playground that you never wanted to play as because it didn't have a cool elemental power, but Heart is badass. And I think it'd be really cool if, like, older, wizened Mattia is, like, almost this guru-like character, or, like, this wanderer-like character where he's like, everywhere I go, I try to keep the heart I believe in, but it's like he hasn't had the power or the strength to fight back against the, like, 20 or 30 years of oppression that they've brought on, or the terrorism that they've brought on, and that's why the main character seeks them out. Like, maybe it's a thing where it's like, this is like a dystopian type thing, like, where it's like, instead of, like, an eco-terrorist group, they're like the dictators of a small nation, or something like that, or like they have, like, a city-state that they have control over, that they're using as a world power to go against other things. I'm just spitballing here, but I definitely think it's a property that has not been touched by the Reboot people, maybe because it's a little too wacky, but...
Yeah, I feel like it's not really touched because it's very dated. It was made because...
It's a public service announcement.
Yeah, to promote it. One guy, I forget his name, who owned the company, wanted to promote environmentalism because it's also during the time where littering became illegal and Earth Day became a thing and Arbor Day.
Yeah.
So it's like emissions started going down. That's why I asked why you chose it, because I want to know how it would fit today.
Yeah, I guess it would be kind of like just like a hard reminder that like the importance of certain actions you're still affecting the world. Like maybe this thing that you liked as a kid for a certain reason, and like you know you need to have in the back of your mind that your actions do have a bigger effect on this earth, and we only have this one earth. Because it feels like it's a very played out saying where it's like, we only have this one earth, you know, global warming, you know, make sure that you recycle and that you compost and all that. But it is all very important stuff.
Yeah.
And I think if it's done in a cooler way, I think also you can have you can have your cake and eat it too, in a sense, which I don't know. I think it'll tap into enough of those like nostalgia neurons that I think people have with like the rebooted Power Rangers, the rebooted Thundercats, they'll probably reboot He-Man one day. I'm sure of it.
I thought they did.
No, they haven't rebooted He-Man. At least I don't think so. They rebooted Conan, but they didn't. I don't think they've rebooted He-Man yet.
Conan never stopped. Those comics have been coming out for like 30 years.
And they always seem like a pretty simple, like, story.
No, he's just a barbarian who fights great things.
Yep.
It's mythic.
I mean,
like Hercules.
you can respect a story like that sometimes. Sometimes you just want to watch someone smash stuff in cool, epic ways.
That's the majority of things we just talked about today.
Yeah, except Captain Planet smashes.
He doesn't do anything. That's what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't do anything. He comes in the very end and flies and reminds us Earth is great, and then he leaves.
What if? Well, okay. Let's do a tandem with both of our ideas. A closing statement for Captain Planet is: what if we took some of the ideas that you had, where Captain Planet does go darker, and so does the original Planeteers, and he separates his power and the power of the original rings from Gaia, and so Gaia creates a new generation of Planeteers, and they have like their own version of Captain Planet. So now they're trying to hunt down Matee's ring so that they can bring their version of Captain Planet, and that's why Matee left, is because of the severance. So still going back and taking your ideas of the dark Captain Planet and that, but now this new generation and their Captain Planet are very green under the gills. Like, they don't know how to control their abilities. So you kind of have like a new age superhero story in a sense.
Yeah.
Like that. But also, when they form the new Captain Planet, it could be like a really awkward teenager or young adult coming in. So like, they don't know how to use their powers as well. So like, the other team has like, they know how to use their abilities, and their Captain Planet is experienced. And we have like this new generation that's like trying to figure out and understand that while looking for Matee. And so you can even have like sort of a Power Rangers-esque thing where the evil organization of the original Planeteers has like their goons, or like their Team Rocket goons type thing, where like the Planeteers fight them in a sense. It kind of turns into a Power Rangers story, I guess, at that point. But I think taking your idea of like the darker Captain Planet would be really fun, and this new Captain Planet reminding them that the moment you gave up on saving the Earth, the Earth lost some of their greatest heroes.
Just doubling down on how this generation needs to focus on it, like do the Greta thing.
Yep.
Cool.
And I really wish this Captain Planet movie existed, or show. I mean, if you could do a gritty character story of each of the original Planeteers falling into...
Because like the fire guy, you think kills him and went evil, gets fire, but it was actually like the water girl. It's like I drowned him.
Yeah. Or just like he has a burn, like a severe burn on his face.
Like a Zuko burn.
Like a Zuko burn. Are we just combining all the bad stories?
Well, wait. Who wins? Oh, no. Cliffhanger. Who wins in a fight? Captain Planet or Aang?
Or Aang?
The Avatar.
Well, I don't know if Cliffhanger. All right.
Cliffhanger.
Fair enough.
I gotta go to bathroom. Cliffhanger.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning into S'mores.
Thanks for listening.
As I pitch my Captain Planet film. Everyone have a great day. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment about why you think Captain Planet is the best, and why you would want to see a Captain Planet film or HBO show with a Game of Thrones level budget. And we'll catch you next time.